Have you ever stopped to think about your retirement plan, not as a goal, but as a sentence? You know, a predetermined amount of time you have to serve before you can actually be free. Well, today we're going to explore a pretty radical idea, how to reverse engineer your way out of that 67-year sentence.
Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. This one line pretty much challenges the entire foundation of how we think about our careers. It suggests that the path most of us are on isn't some journey to freedom, but more like a predefined prison term. So what exactly is this 67-year sentence we're talking about? It's really the idea that our working lives are essentially on a timer, just ticking down to some government-mandated age, not a personal finish line that we choose. I mean, think about it. From our very first job, there's this unwritten rule, right? You work for 40, maybe 50 years, and then somewhere around age 67, you finally get to stop. It's this one-size-fits-all plan that totally ignores your choices, your savings rate, and your actual life goals. It just reduces your career to a path of, well, waiting. The big problem with this default path is that it has some pretty serious flaws, and they're all hidden in the fine print. So let's do something most people don't. Let's actually stop and read it. The promise, of course, sounds fantastic. Work hard your whole life and you'll be rewarded with a peaceful, comfortable retirement. But the fine print is where you find the catch. Your freedom isn't granted when you're financially ready. It's granted when you hit an arbitrary age. Your actual readiness, totally irrelevant. So this leads to the most important question of all. If the traditional plan is a sentence rent, can we break out? Is there another way, an alternative path to freedom that puts us back in control? Well, the answer is a resounding yes. And that escape route has a name. It's called the crossover point. This isn't just some vague concept. It's a completely new destination for your entire financial journey. So what is it? The crossover point is that exact moment when the income from your investments permanently covers all of your living expenses. Put simply, when your money starts making enough money to pay for your life, you are free. It's as simple as that. You see, this is a fundamental shift in thinking. We're literally throwing out the old arbitrary goal of age 67 and replacing it with something tangible, something personal, reaching your crossover point, whenever that day might come. And this changes everything. It reframes your entire career. It's no longer about time served in that 67-year sentence. It's now a project with a very clear objective, achieving financial independence. It puts the power and the timeline right back in your hands.
Okay, so if the crossover point is our new destination, how do we get there? You don't just hope you arrive one day. You have to reverse engineer the whole journey. You start with the end in mind and then build a plan backward from there.
The process is actually pretty logical. First, you define your finish line, and you do that by knowing exactly what your annual expenses are. Second, you calculate the target portfolio you'll need. A common rule of thumb is just to multiply your annual expenses by 25. That number, that's your target. And finally, you engineer a savings and investment plan designed specifically to hit that number. And what's the ultimate reward from making this shift in thinking? Well, it's not just about money. It's about winning back the single most valuable resource you have, your time. It's about beating the system.
And let's be super clear, this isn't about escaping work because you hate it. It's about escaping a system that dictates your life's timeline without your permission. The real goal is to gain the freedom to choose how you spend your days, whether that's working on a passion project or traveling the world, all on your own terms.
And right here, this is the prize. By focusing on the crossover point instead of the calendar, you have the potential to reclaim decades of your life. Not just a few years, decades. This isn't some minor optimization. It is a life-altering change. So, let's just quickly recap the key takeaways. Your retirement age? It's a choice, not a destiny. Your real goal is the crossover point. You get there by reverse engineering a plan. And the result? It can be decades of extra freedom. You know, the traditional retirement plan has already been written for you, but it's just a draft. Now that you've read the fine print and you know there's another way, the only question left is, how will you rewrite your own plan?